So. Maybe. Don't have it come up.
Chris, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Thanks.
I don't know where you want it. Right
You
here.
just put it right, yeah, right over there, it's fine.
Here.
Work. All right. Get the crap with it.
All right, it's right at 6 o'clock. Good evening. I call the Brookfield Board of Health meeting of June 24th, 2026 to order at 6 p.m. This meeting is being held in accordance with the Massachusetts Open Meeting Law. The agenda was posted in compliance with the law and is subject to change. Please note that this meeting is being audio and video recorded. If anyone has yet to sign in, there's a sign-in sheet with agendas right next by. Let the record show that a quorum is present with Jake Hill, Kim Simmons, Maureen Lepak, all in attendance. I'm Jake Hill, the chair.
Kim Simons, Maureen Lepak. Wanna.
Gotcha.
good.
First, we'll be moving into the review of the Leicester Regional Public Health Coalition May 2026 report.
Want me to read it?
Yeah, do you mind?
Okay. Brookfield May report as reported by Leicester Regional Coalition. We have mobile food permit, Smashing Patties LLC at Wildberry Acres Farm. Residential kitchen, sorry, these are permits issued. Residential kitchen, Bewitching Bakes LLC. Mobile food permit, Bay State Chews Food Truck. Well permit, 9 Tupelo Drive. Annual food establishment permit, Texas Backyard Barbecue. Temporary food permit, Fiore Cafe Plant Sale Event. Temporary food permit, Brookfield Orchards at Brookfield Freedom Fest event for 8/15/2026. Temporary food permit, Brookfield Congregational Church Spaghetti Supper fundraiser on 6/20/2026. Title V septic installer, Ronald Cox, RACE. Title V septic installer, Roger Mundell. Septic trash hauler, United Rentals North America Inc., DBA Reliable On-Site Services. Permits pending, Title V new construction, 80 Fistale Road. Well permit, 2 Rice Corner Road. Well permit, 20 Rice Corner Road. Title V septic repair, 3 Main Street. Inspections conducted for May was food pre-operational, Bewitching Bakes LLC. Food pre-operational, Smashing Patties. Food routine, Tip Top Co-op. Food routine, Brookfield Elementary School. Nuisance reinspection for 14 Wells Road. Should I read the findings and the notes on those?
I think it's fine. I'll do that.
And then reportable disease activity, no cases reported in May.
Right. Review and approval of meeting minutes. I have March 25th, 2026, April 29th, 2026, and May 27th, 2026. Should we take these as individual cases?
Yeah, well, so I don't have March or April,
Okay,
but I have May's.
okay, so we'll move on.
Yeah, I'm
Pass on.
still working on them. They're both 3-hour meetings and the last meeting for May was a shorter one, so I was able to complete it.
Okay, so we'll review the meeting minutes for May 27th, 2026. Is moment to look those over. there a motion to approve the minutes as presented?
I'll make a motion to approve the May 27th, 2026 meeting minutes.
Second that? All in favor?
We have to have discussion first.
Oh, my apologies. Discussion.
Two questions I have. The comment period, you just saying that you listen to public comments, but there's nothing about the public comments?
Yeah, the open meeting law doesn't require you to record what the public says during public comment.
But shouldn't it be detailed enough to understand if a person didn't attend the meeting?
From what I read on the open meeting law, it didn't say that we had to notarize what was said.
I didn't say notarize, but summarize.
Do you,
I just curious about that. And just a question under C, or C, is there anything missing there before the purchase of the sign, or is there a vote or something, or is it just a discussion?
nope. I purchased a sign on my own based on what Lori had told me to do because I contacted the lost for words. What's the department?
DEP?
No,
What's that?
our highway, sorry,
Oh,
our highway, and they don't have the capability of making signs, and Lori told me you're better off to just buy the sign. I mean, we never made a vote as to refunding me the money. Which that can be a later discussion, or I will just donate the sign to the town.
Okay.
I just, with time and our meetings are only once a month, I just felt like I went on Lori's recommendation to purchase the sign, which I have. I don't know if we want to talk about it later, but
I don't have any other comments.
Any other discussion?
did you want anything notarized for what, or summarized for what public comment is? I just went off of what open meeting law requires us to.
Yeah, I think that's fine. We can look into it some more after this meeting, but at this moment, we don't have the time to really dig into the regulations, and if that's what you've seen, I think I'm comfortable with that. Any further discussion? No? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Abstain.
Aye. Okay. I just want to make an announcement, as part of the administrative part. For the record, I'd like to disclose that the Board of Health received a check today from Shelby Hill on behalf of Montessori Academies in New England. I am also an owner, and it was for a routine perk test at Willowbrook Academy. It's a standard application processed in the normal course of business with no special consideration, no deviation from standard fees, and no board decision or action required. I'm making this disclosure out of an abundance of caution to ensure complete transparency. There's no conflict of interest, and I do not believe recusal for that was necessary. So when I signed the warrant, it accepted the check for deposit, just so everyone's aware. I want to make that out as a statement. Moving on to requests to speak. Patty from White's Landing had requested to be on today's agenda. Earlier today, she reached out to me and let me know that she regretfully had to ask for a postponement to the next meeting. She would be unable to attend this evening. And I told her we'd gladly move her to the next meeting.
Okay,
So we'll move her to the next agenda.
okay.
Next up, Shelby Hill from Willow Beans Cafe. Before we proceed, Shelby's my wife, and to avoid any appearance of conflict of interest, I'm going to recuse myself from any discussion, voting, and I'm going to be stepping outside of the room. While I'm outside of the room, him as vice chair will act as the chair. Then I'll be back in when you're finished talking.
Okay.
Jacob, do you think it's okay if I sit back here, or do you want me a little closer? Do you think Chris can hear me, or Chris, can you hear me? Or whoever's on there? Okay.
I can hear fine, thank you.
Okay. Hi, I'm Shelby Hill. I'm requesting a special meeting or a public meeting in July for the Willow Beans Cafe located at 16 Central Street. For the variance, McClure Engineering on my behalf submitted this on June 17th to the Board of Health at brookfieldmass.us. I had a couple of questions. I wanted to clarify who posts the legal notices in the newspaper?
Board does.
The board does.
You just have to bring a check with the total. We'll tell you the total of the cost and then you just bring a check the night of the hearing.
Okay.
Yeah.
And who's responsible for notifying the abutters? I did receive an abutter list.
You are.
Okay, and
And you gotta
so
bring the green slips to the meeting,
to the what? The
Meeting.
green
the
slips?
green slips from
Okay.
the
For them,
notification.
the
Mhm.
certification?
Mhm.
Okay. So McClure Engineering and I will do that part of it, and then, so I'm asking for the board to put us on the July meeting. For that special meeting or public meeting.
Okay.
I think the only caveat is just check with the Title V engineer, because she has 45 days to review
Okay.
in general, so just, it's a busy time of year, just verify that she thinks she'll have it ready. Because generally she'll tell us what we need to do, because some of those could require simultaneous review by the DEP. Not always local, only depending on what it is, so.
Okay. So is that Shelley?
Shelley will figure it out. She'll get the document, review it, and then she'll give feedback to the board. But it
So-
seems like it'd be far enough away, that'd be
Okay.
fine.
So will the board communicate that to me?
Will you?
Does Shelley normally communicate with the coalition
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then they would,
Megan will probably be in touch.
okay. Yes, so I will start like a chain of communication just to make sure that when things are on their way, that
Okay.
when I find out, I will send you a notification, but they also should have you on the correspondence.
So if we're responsible for notifying the abutters, then
So
give them for a date, because I think you have to do it, what?
you have to
20
be at
days?
least 10 days, I think, is the,
Days.
so we just have to wait to hear from Shelley. Shelley will tell us like what's needed and basically her thoughts on it, basically her opinion. Then we would construct the hearing notice language and you would use the same, you would notify with the same notification to the
Okay.
butters.
All right, great.
So somebody can send you the language.
Great. All right, those are the only questions I had.
I don't have any of the previous ones for like the language that you've posted.
Yeah, it's generally gonna be exactly what's in the plan, but you can,
Okay,
yeah. But I can send an example over.
yeah, if you could send an example, that'd be great. That way I know. That'd be great. We'll follow up. What is the date of that meeting?
Usually the fourth Wednesday of a month.
So 1, 2, 3, 4. So July has 5 Wednesdays, so it'll end up being, should be the 22nd of July. Should be our, aw. That should end up being the date.
All right, thank you.
All set?
That was it. Yep. I'm
Okay.
done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Does somebody want to go grab him? Please.
I'm returned to my role as the chair now.
Just so you know, the meeting for July will end up being the 22nd.
I
Because there's,
gonna talk
Five.
about that. I was gonna ask for maybe the 29th because I have a conflict. It's birthday for my children.
okay, that's, yeah, I heard.
So
Okay,
I was gonna bring that up at the end of the meeting when we
okay,
look to schedule, if
okay.
possible.
Yep.
But
'Cause
I understand other
we will
people's
have to-
schedules also come into play. It's not just my own.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
You and I both have to be able to be there.
I cannot be there the 29th. That's,
Okay. We'll do our best to,
yeah. So, sorry.
I mean, I don't know what the rules are for days. If we look at a different day, we can look at a different day, but we can
Okay,
push that back to later at the end of the meeting to discuss what availability we have for the next meeting.
Okay.
All right. Board of Health Member Resources. Discussion for that.
Just that every year, just I hand it out so that people know what's required.
Right, thank you for that. We both, made copies for everybody as well, and you have, that in your packet. And the same for, the legal manual with the duties. Next up, Board of Health Clerk job duties, hours, wages discussion, and posting of Board of Health Clerk job position. Discussion.
I asked for this on the agenda.
Yep.
Because my understanding, even though we have no minutes for that meeting yet, but my understanding was that the Board of Health Clerk position was interim. But I didn't see it get posted. I also didn't see on the video a wage discussion. So I'm kind of curious what's the status there and what's going on there.
as far as I know about the wages is that Lori said that she can make that determination. And that the board didn't actually have to take a vote on that. For the interim. The reason it hasn't been posted yet is because we have to talk about it as a board and. There were extensive agendas as far as I know prior. So, we do need to get it posted. Did we bring any previous job duties of the position?
There's a board voted on the job description a long time ago. I think I have a copy. Should be on the computer. Could be with the Mike Siri as well. Copy I have.
Okay. Is this something that we want to continue with? Is the same exact? We use?
I know I'd like to review it before we do anything. I know.
Used to be a personnel board. We don't have one now, but
Yeah, in my discussions today with,
I think that the job description is pretty basic. The prior board, Chris had taken it to that board at the time and they approved it.
in my discussions with our.
And that's what this one is?
I think so.
In my discussions with the town administrator today, she was questioning if we even had the authority to hire the clerk or if it was someone else needed to hire them.
We have the authority to hire and fire as a board of health. It's in the statute.
Okay.
General, it's in, you can see it in that legal.
In the one that you gave me? Okay,
Mhm.
excellent.
We can sign contracts, we can hire, fire.
She just brought the question up with me. So it was something to think about. Now that we have that.
Did you wanna look at it or?
I think I'm not gonna read it in the moment because I'm not really gonna be able to
Yeah.
digest all the information, so it would be something I think we could talk about it in the next meeting if we want to make a vote as far as posting the position and moving forward. Unless someone disagrees and they'd like to.
No, I think it should be posted. And was the job description not ever given to Deb then? She was hired?
Which time when she was hired?
I'm sure it was probably given to her before. I just, every time you come back, did you give them a copy? No?
No.
Okay.
I've never been in this position before.
Well, it's good to know. I mean, we can get it straight. When as the interim, when we hire the permanent position, we can make sure that everything's done the right way and get the job description where we want it to be. I think part of the previous question for my attending meetings was making sure someone was at meetings taking minutes. So that might be something that
Mm-hmm.
we want to talk about.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You said the town administrator had asked you that question?
She wasn't sure if there was any conflict or anything like that.
I gave this to you.
Yeah,
Give you this back and you can give that.
Oh,
copy
I
to
have the
town
copies too. I'll really dig in
Give
deep,
an
but
extra
thank you.
copy back to some, she should probably read it too. The clerk should know. That is so.
All right. No motions or anything regarding that topic?
I thought you had a motion to post the position on the table, right?
No, I said I was gonna review it, come back to the next meeting, and then we could do it. I'm not ready to post it with not being able to go through the job description at the moment.
Well, on there, yeah, because it has hours and pay. Looking at it. I don't know if that still all applies or if that's something we need to talk to Lori about before we post it.
I just want to really,
Because it's on there.
Yeah.
It's it would be in the
Usually we-
listing.
They post like an abridged version for the website so that it can get on the town website as, so people can submit their resumes and then we give, we could make a motion that you look into that and decide about the job description. And if you feel like it has to change, then you bring it back to the July meeting. But if you didn't,
right, just,
why waste another month?
I'm okay with posting it. If we use a similar
Because you
language,
could always
to what
change the
I
description.
mean, I don't think it's gonna change drastically. So if we use the previous posting. I'm
Yeah,
fine
I
with
mean-
that. I just wanted time to familiarize myself with all the.
Yeah, because the board could always change the description if they needed to, even if somebody was already hired, like you can change
Yep.
someone's job description.
I agree with you.
So I would just make a motion to post the position.
Okay, I'll second that.
You made,
Oh,
is that your
we can-
motion?
To post the
Yeah,
position.
okay, all right.
Do you have a recommendation of hours and wages for the posting? Because I think with mass law now, you have to do that.
Well, yeah, the job description, I mean, the prior health clerk was making $20 an hour or just a little over from an annual raise or whatever they get, but that was the range that we had, and that's probably a discussion to have with Lori if that needs to be increased. We increased it for the prior clerk because of her extensive experience in public health, the work that she did. I'm not sure what the current pay scale is for Deb.
Either.
So we're saying that we need to check into that before it gets posted.
I'd verify, I'd probably keep the range. I mean, it depends on the experience of the person, but I mean, I think maybe the personnel board had set those because there's other clerks in town that we have to be mindful of, that we're not overpaying a clerk based on what other clerks are making in the town. So I think, maybe you could have a conversation with the accountant about where things are with that, and if it needs to change, I mean, we could have a follow-up discussion on that, but I would say post it with the current and then see what we get. If we have to continue that discussion at the next meeting, that we do so, but
Can we
months.
amend the motion that we have Jake discuss it with Lori prior to posting and,
Go ahead, make a motion.
well,
You can amend it, I believe.
well, is that like, I know time is of the essence. We need to have it posted because we are an intern right now.
All right, I'll make a motion that Jake check with Lori about on the wages and then post the position to,
Wages and hours.
yeah, obviously it's gonna have to fall within the budget that they give us for fiscal year 27.
Right. Your motion is to check with, Jake will check with Lori on wages and hours prior to posting the position.
I mean, the board had previously was going to utilize the Leicester Regional Admin for clerk services in fiscal year 27 because the coalition had been asking for us to fund a portion of that salary, given the workload. And in order to make the math and the funds work, that was sort of what we had come up with before, but I don't know if that person's willing to do it now. So
Is
you
that-
might want to have a
just clarify,
follow-up.
Is that the one that resigned?
Mhm.
And I think the issue there too is not willing to come to the meetings to take minutes.
No, the issue is that someone scheduled an executive session and then it wasn't about what it was supposed to be about.
Okay.
I don't think that was the issue.
Well, we don't have to.
Well, that was
discuss
my
it. We
opinion.
can all have our own opinion on what issues were. And
Okay, so there was
so the motion.
sort of a motion.
Yeah, no, the motion's on the floor for me to check in with Lori about the hours and wage rate, wage scale before posting the position as a permanent position.
Yep, the clerk position. I'll second it.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Carries through, all three.
We did not do a roll call vote or whatever on the last motion to post the position. Does that motion
Oh,
go away
because
now that
well,
we
it
have
was
this
an
one?
amended,
Yeah, okay, so this is,
it's the same motion, just
Okay.
amended.
okay, thank you.
You just described it, that it was made and then no vote taken and then amended.
Okay,
and then taken.
thank you.
Next up, Board of Health Operations. This was something I asked to get put on the agenda. In front of you, or in the packet included, there is 3 different policies to go in place. Consider trying to streamline and organize things.
Well, I read this
Okay.
and I don't know, I mean, you're gonna send it to KP Law?
It's
Because a board generally can't adopt a policy that exceeds its authority
in what part?
granted to it by the statute or deprives an elected member member the power of state law, you know? So, there's a couple of different concepts around, you know, the fact that,
Where do you feel it goes beyond that?
the computer, every one of us has equal power, so the computer being, controlled by a clerk, we all have the fiduciary duty and right to inspect records, audit files. You know,
This doesn't limit
I
that
don't
though,
really,
if you read the.
well, I mean, if
policy,
you're,
You can request to see the.
you can request, but that's, I mean, we should be able to do that at any time without having to ask permission from somebody else to do it. That's, I mean, it's not,
I don't know, I'm not sure all boards do that in town previous to this. I thought, my understanding was that not everyone had access to the computer.
anyone in
And
the
there's-
office can get access to the computer. And there's been emails about this and the email is shared account and the board computer should be available to all.
I hear you. I also looked into this and was instructed that this should be a Board of Health decision. And that
From who?
the board should be
Who
taking. care of this.
instructed you?
I talked to both the town administrator. And it was also from the selectmen. They decided to move it back to us.
They had a meeting?
I don't know if they had a meeting.
Who did you talk to from the select board?
It was shared with me secondhand. I think the concerns are things happening to the computer, things getting moved. There have been concerns raised to me,
For what?
things being accessed and moved in the computer.
Fine.
Including searches for people that are not before the board for any reason. So,
You can research anything you want. You don't have to, it doesn't have to be a matter. You can look for records if you want to compare a record to another record to see how that was handled. You can certainly research that. There's no rule.
100%. If it's related to things that's before the board, I agree. But if it's not anything before the board or anything that we're handling.
I don't know if I agree with that. I think any files are subject to being able to be inspected or audited by a board member. I think that power is granted to us through the state.
I would agree with that if it's for board of health reasons, absolutely.
What are you talking about? What wouldn't be Board of Health and the Board of Health computer and office?
I'm just saying,
Like there would be nothing else in the office other than Board of Health files, right?
yes, but if there's nothing for the board with certain things.
I guess I'm not following you. Could you be more specific?
So anyways, to continue on. These three policies have been drafted to look over. I have no problem if we put them before KP Law.
Well, there's,
If that's what, if that's, Your
the
concern.
question is, does the board have statutory authority to adopt that kind of policy? Does it conflict with state law in any way? Does it materially interfere with, a board member's duties?
yeah, and I don't
You
think
know,
any
and
of
who,
this does.
does a chair have the right to say to the other board members that they can't inspect records or can't communicate with other departments? I feel like that's a pretty big overreach.
I don't think this does any of what you just said, actually.
Well, I'm just saying all official Board of Health business involving the board clerk, other town departments or external parties shall be directed through the chair.
Yep.
But your authority is to manage this meetings. It's not,
It's not my.
I'm not saying you,
Yeah,
but
it's the
like in
chair's
general,
authority.
right? Like you are the chair right now, so I'm just
Yep.
saying you. But I don't think you, and if I remember correctly, like boards can't make rules that future boards have to adhere to, right? Like, so the composition changes. It's, so I definitely think it should be looked at from a legal perspective because,
I would definitely need some more time to review. And then in the meantime, if it can be sent to PG Law for their feedback,
Yes,
that way, we can come back with their feedback and then our feedback.
Yep.
I definitely need some more time,
that's what I kind of anticipate. I don't want you to make a rush
Yeah.
decision, so.
cause I honestly, like the Roberts Rules of Order, I have to look into that as well.
yeah, generally speaking, the open meeting law is what we're required to follow. Robert's rules, just so, I'll just say it, Robert's rules is for boards that are over 12 members in size, technically. Robert's rules has no provision in it to hold public comment and things like that. So I would look into it a little more before you settle on thinking.
There is, so open meeting law doesn't control how you run the meeting. Robert's Rules of Order is a
I know, but
way of.
we're only a
If-
3-member
if you could
board.
just let me finish. I let you finish. Thank you. There's a relaxed version that you can use for a smaller board.
Mhm.
So it was a recommendation to help with how things are done. And again, everybody has the right to review these and then we'll discuss them again. I would like to,
There's a lot of policies, so.
well, there's 3 of them.
I mean,
I think it's needed.
we have 3 regulations. That seemed like it was a lot for people.
Okay, so we'll bring this back in July.
Yeah, we'll move back and we'll talk about it in July. I would like to make a motion though. Not to permanently adopt, but to adopt for the next 3 months, the computer access policy, that only the clerk is able to access the computer. There's been some concerns brought forth to me about access to the computer, files being moved.
Jacob, I've been into that computer one time. I asked did any files get,
I'm gonna stop you there.
okay.
Let's not talk to Jacob.
Well, I kind of feel like this is a kind of an odd conversation and you're not really being.
I'm not putting any names to anything. I'm merely saying that there's been some concerns brought forth to me about access to the computer. So in sense of protection and security, I'm making a motion that only the clerk has access to it at the moment, and then it will proceed further. I'm not trying to make it a permanent
I'm
thing.
gonna forward the email from a prior town administrator that stated that we could not do that.
Okay. It's a temporary emplacement.
It was a big issue a couple of years ago, so.
It may end up being a big issue again.
So what is your motion is for 3 months?
Temporary access only to the clerk. That's not saying that we can't request things. It's not limiting what we can do.
Well, my problem is the clerk doesn't respond to me. Doesn't copy me on things, and when I ask for things, I get them at the meeting. Instead of her just responding to me.
And that's a very valid concern.
It is a concern.
And I think we can address that as well.
I'm gonna second the motion.
Discussion. 'Cause. 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 'Cause.
I'd like the clerk to be able to do her job without feeling like the computer's being altered in any which way, and if I need access to something or anybody on the board, we go through the proper channel of receiving a record.
How many days a week does she work for us?
At least one, but I know she's in there,
She's in and out.
she's
She does have.
being
access to the
requested
email.
for things from like Siri often.
If it's an emergency needed, I'm sure we can reach out and get the information.
Oh, there was an emergency situation I heard about and I wasn't copied.
Is that recent?
Board should be discussing it tonight.
I'm not aware of it, so.
It went to you and to Kim on Monday at
Emergency?
1:22 PM. And it should have gotten added to our agenda. And then here's
Well,
an
Monday
email
would've
about the
been
computer.
outside the
Here's an
hours.
email about the computer I'm putting into the public record.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you're right that it was only sent to the two of us. I honestly didn't even look
Yeah, but
in the mail.
don't you have access to the Brookfield Board of Health
She
email?
thought she was aware of it.
But that's not the point. You're looking to change it so that there's like,
No, it's the computer, not the email.
what's wrong with going and use the computer? It's the town resources.
I've explained
There's
why I
nothing
made,
different about the.
I explained why I made the motion. I mean, the discussion's already
Okay.
finished. It's.
So I'll have to submit a request for a topic for the next meeting about some things I found on that computer
That's fine.
that don't relate to the Board of Health.
Okay.
Go there.
There's no need for threats. I mean, if
I'm
you
not
want to,
threatening.
if there's concerns, you
It's
can.
not a
bring them up
threat.
now.
I'm saying my concern.
Do you have some information that you'd like to share with the rest of the board about something you found on the computer?
Yeah, but it's not for tonight's discussion because it's not on the agenda.
Well, we're talking about computer access.
When you're talking about a policy,
Okay,
I'm not sure I can.
fair enough. So discussion ended. Motion on the floor is for the next 3 months, temporary access only to the clerk. It's been seconded. Discussion is ended. All in favor?
I,
Aye,
No.
2-1, it carries. Next up, pad fees and invoices regarding, there was the Wagon Wheel, Manitowoc, and Brookfield Meadows. I asked for this to get put on. It was brought to my attention that there is, a monthly fee that is charged to each of them based off of their units. Wagon Wheel has 144 units at $12 a month. Manitowoc has 85 units at $12 a month. And Brookfield Meadows has 61 at $12 a month.
could you repeat that for me, please? Wagon wheel,
Put it right here.
144.
And this is something I haven't had time to really investigate, and I'm hoping that I can lean on both of your knowledge, if you have it, what those fees cover, who they go to. And they're not invoiced on a regular basis. Is there something?
They're monthly. It's a state thing and a town thing, so it doesn't, we don't increase them. They'd have to go to a vote at the town meeting.
Okay,
They're pad fees, so it's basically it's not really like a property tax,
It's like
but
a
it's like a
location
little
that they're on.
location, and those are set, when they come into the board, they're supposed to send them monthly. Some of them sometimes get a little behind and we have to remind them, but those have to go to the tax collector. And then the tax collector submits them to the treasurer.
So we do invoice them regularly?
We don't, we receive checks and there's a letter in the workbook that like describes and goes to Brenda, the tax collector, and then when you're preparing the warrant and the turnovers and everything, once a month, generally at the end of the month, we have to allow them
Yeah.
to the end of the month. It's not like a first of the month thing. It's to pay the pad fee, and then you submit the letter. Basically, you're saying that you've received these checks and you're submitting them to the.
So it's not something that we like send a bill out for or anything, we just.
No.
So
No, I investigated the possibility of how that could work if the tax collector could somehow use it, the system that they use for like property taxes, and just really didn't go anywhere. I mean, it'd be a nice thing, but I don't know the legality of if we could do that, or I don't even know, and the history is so long and far back, it's hard to know why it comes to the Board of Health before the tax collector. That part I don't know, but there is like a state rules on mobile home, manufactured home parks, and Mike Siri might have a book about it in his office, or you could go online and research it and learn about it.
Okay.
But it goes through all the regulations, like they weren't getting permitted, like we were collecting
Right, I just didn't know. if it
permit
was-
fees, but we didn't have a permitting process, so we did put that permitting process in place so that, because health agents have to review those every year.
Yeah, when speaking with the clerk, she just said that the checks kind of come in haphazard at times, and I didn't know if it was something that we needed to.
They kind of, it'd be nice to, but it's hard to
Okay,
police
so
it, but
kind of leave that. I might do some more investigation and bring back what I can find. If there's anything. with
yeah.
that.
And you might want to, for another meeting, talk about Title V for the 3 parks, because they're all handled differently based on the size. And if
Gotcha.
you want to understand that, I'd be happy to
Yeah.
go through it.
No problem. Thank you very much. Next up, Leicester Regional Public Health Coalition Advisory Board. This is a delegate nomination for fiscal year 2027.
Make a motion to make Jake Hill the advisory board member for the Board of Health. Second?
Discussion. I'll take it. I just don't know how often I'll be able to make it with my schedule.
We should have a backup then.
We typically meet on the first Tuesday
Okay.
of every month, and I have prior conflicts, so I
Yeah.
haven't been able to attend.
They're usually Zoom,
Okay.
right? So you can,
Yeah,
I mean, but you gotta get to some of them because they do talk about things that are gonna affect our town. I know they're talking about opioid funds and
I did see that in the email when they sent
and
it.
the software for, the inspectional services, there's a lot going on there, so. And it would be nice to kind of have that individual be able to report back what's going on.
All right. All right, all in favor?
I
I
Aye. I'll take it. Next up, discussion about creating a clear.
hold on,
Oh,
you need a backup. You want to vote on a backup member, the advisory?
I'm gonna nominate Maureen to be the backup member.
I would not like to, no.
I understand.
I'll make. a
Like Kim
motion
already
to-
said that she's unavailable on those
You
dates. so
Called
she
me, so
hasn't
I
been-
don't know how long I'm gonna be here and I don't wanna
Sorry,
commit.
what was that?
I've been recalled, so I
Oh.
don't know like how long I'm gonna be on the board. So I don't wanna make any promises about being on any committees or boards.
I think we can handle that at that time.
I can be the backup.
Okay. Then I'll rescind my motion. I'll make a motion that Kim is the backup for those meetings. Any second,
Second.
any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thanks for catching that for me.
Mhm.
Next up, creating a clear, concise document covering expectations for interactions and communications regarding Leicester Public, Leicester Regional Public Health Coalition.
You have that under the advisory board, so I was a little confused. Is this just in general with the coalition staff or the advisory board?
It's listed as a separate thing. It's number
You
2.
know,
Oh, yeah, I see the title.
Sorry.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely correct. It was meant to be its own separate topic. I'm still learning, making agendas at it being my first time, so
no, I'm just,
you are correct with that, though. Really, what I was looking for here is, having been to some meetings prior to being elected, there was a lot of complaints about how things were handled. And I feel that, we were elected to represent the residents and the business owners in town. And that it's our responsibility to make sure that, while public health is still being the top thing, that things are done in a way that is not necessarily friendly, but open to our businesses and residents, that they understand their avenues for variances and other things if there's regulations stopping them from doing something. So I think just having clear expectations for Leicester on how we want things handled in Brookfield.
seeing if you have it under the advisory board, I
Yep.
think that's a great topic for you to take to the advisory board for Leicester, since there's 7 towns in the coalition. And if every town is making their own rules for them to follow, like, it's gonna be very chaotic for them. So I think it'd be a better strategy to go to the advisory board, meet the other boards in the coalition, get their feedback on whether these problems exist in those towns, get their input on whether they think that should be something that they'd like to see, and then collaborate with them on developing something that the staff at the coalition can follow consistently and not have to, switch gears depending on what town they're talking to.
Well, I think that's ultimately the issue. I think what you're saying is perfect. However, I think we still as a board can have our expectations of how things are handled in Brookfield. And I think part of the issue with where the coalition is each town is different and has its own unique parts. So maybe we still work on what our expectations are. I'll gladly bring this before the advisory board.
Yeah.
And then maybe if we do it from both angles, we can get something done at a.
Yeah, I mean, it's been built up from the ground, and, it doesn't happen overnight. And there was definitely some changes in the management and at Leicester Coalition over the last couple of years that it was involved, but this has been a topic to get more consistency about process and to see how we could try to get the coalition members to agree on those kinds of processes to make it more streamlined for them, keeping in mind some of the unique differences between the towns, but trying to align it as much as possible.
Yeah.
It's just cohesive.
And I agree.
Other coalitions are functioning pretty good. And
Yeah, some are. And my only concern is giving up anything in the name of cohesiveness if we're sacrificing or residents are not getting the information that they need.
Mhm.
I think just finding some sort of middle ground. I mean, the nice thing is I think this is the first meeting we're at where we're not getting any kind of complaint recently. And I know part of that was they were training their inspectors.
Go around.
What's that?
Yeah,
No, if you have something to share, please do.
I'm just, it's interesting. Yeah,
What's interesting?
that the last few meetings that we've had so many complaints. Yeah. No, just agree.
Well, I mean, we don't at the moment. And it's not like asking them to do anything that's outside of their,
I wouldn't say we don't
Perfect.
at the moment, because the first agenda item wasn't in attendance, so I don't know.
I don't know what that was about.
I think it was follow-up. But yeah,
I
so,
think talking to some of these other towns is gonna be an interesting thing to see and compare how Brookfield compares to these other towns in terms of complaints and issues. And I think that that's gonna be an interesting metric for us to know.
yeah, but I think that also, again, that's one of two parts. The other part is we need to decide for us
Yeah.
how we want it handled, so. I'll work on something with that too, if you like, I'll draft something up and, along with bringing it before the advisory council if I have the opportunity to do so.
Yeah.
Moving on next to the Regional Two Public Health Emergency Planning Delegate nomination for fiscal year 27.
I nominate Jake Hill for the Region Two Public Health Emergency Planning Delegate for fiscal year 27.
Second.
Discussion. This is a 3-member board. I think other people should be representative regardless of if they're in a recall or other things.
I've been on it and
And
I
it's
think
a
we should be-
3-member board.
rotate.
Yeah, I agree. We should rotate, but I've already have been
Well,
placed as chair, have been placed as chair and I took the other delegation. I would ask that you
Is
step
there
up and
anything
take something as well.
we can share about?
I have stepped up for years,
Oh, then,
so I'm good.
but you're still on the board, so.
Okay.
So you should take some responsibility as well. I think all 3 of us should take some role and
If
responsibility.
you don't want to do it, then that's great. Find a discussion. Did you have another motion to make?
Can we discuss what this entails? Cause
Yeah, they're like monthly meetings for the Region Two. It's a large collaboration of towns that works on the public health emergency planning, so our ability to respond in an emergency. Meetings are held sometimes in Zoom, sometimes in person. They can range, it can be kind of a distance to go to some of the meetings, so it can't always go to the meetings. And it's not a super big deal because they get minutes and there's, information, and most of the time, the health agents are there and representing, and for the most part, it's very more technical to the more trained staff in towns that have health directors and more staffing. So some of the little towns are kind of just present, but the bigger towns definitely take over. But one of the, like an example was the documents that we had been working on. We worked on the emergency dispensing plan. We worked on the framework document last year, if you recall. And we did a tabletop exercise with the police department, the fire department, and EMS. We have a trailer that's parked at the highway department that is a shared regional trailer that we would use in emergency. And the only reason I would nominate you for being new to the board is to look, so you can learn all of this, so that when an emergency comes up, you're going to be the primary contact as the chair.
No, and I
So
understand that. I just,
it's going to be important to know, like, how we set up our dispensing, reviewing that EDS plan is got to be about 2 or 3 inches thick in a binder. So, I mean, some of the grants that we have, we get grant money. So we got a laptop that's in Mike's safe, I think. We've got translation devices. We've gotten wheelchairs and cots and signage, and we, grant money that we've gotten previously was like to update the trailer. So we got the mice out of it because it had been sitting down in the transfer station for years. We got new tires and shelving in it so that we'd have everything ready, so that in the event we have a situation, a train wreck in town, and we've got to get, or something happens in water supply and we have to get people water, or we have to give out vaccinations for some pandemic or something, that we can do that. And we have we have processes in place for how to do that quickly. And we should, it's been difficult to kind of get to this point. I mean, but the region does have multiple events, you know, they'll have active shooter events and different things that you go to kind of learn, you know, how to deal with various emergencies. But we should try to get some help from the coordinator there on doing some practice runs of like working with fire, EMS, police, just to kind of do a scenario and do a practice event so that we know where the dispensing areas are, we know the traffic flow for it, we know how to do the signage and just practice it.
Sounds like great stuff. Sounds like you have a lot of information there. That's why I think you would be best served. I would gladly. No, but you put the time.
Started, so you just
put the
gotta
time
do it.
in.
Mhm.
So instead of letting that go to waste, I think if you were to do that, I'd gladly back you up and work with you on it. I mean, it doesn't break open meeting law for us to get together and you show me these things, correct?
Well, they have a website too, so there's a lot of learning material there, so I'd start there, because that's where I started when I
Okay.
was learning
But yeah,
it.
but you have the.
But I'd also recommend you just go to a meeting too, because sometimes they have them at like the Sturbridge Senior Center, which is right down, you know, not far
Yeah.
away. So when they were like close by, it's good to kind of jump in. There's usually some good topics. And then you get to meet like a lot of the coalition directors and various coalitions. You get to really meet a lot of the people. You get to meet a lot of people from Mass Public Health, and it's good information. So.
All right. Any more discussion?
I truly don't have time or capacity to do it.
Well, I understand. That's why I thought as a 3-member board, we could each take some responsibilities.
If you want me to continue until further
I
notice.
think you have a plethora of,
I don't know that I don't know, they require us to put forth the delegate for next month
Okay.
for the year. And so I just don't know. I mean, I guess they have a mechanism for if somebody leaves, but I don't know how that works, but I don't mind.
and I appreciate that. And then I'll gladly be the backup for that.
Okay, so is there a new motion on the floor?
We got to take that other motion that was on there first, right?
It never got seconded.
Oh, okay.
So it.
Then
Motion
I'll
failed.
make the motion that Maureen is the primary contact for that, and I will be the second contact for
The
that.
delegate,
Delegate, yes. And I will be the backup for
Can
that.
can you say what we're delegating her for the motion?
The Region 2 Public Health Emergency Planning.
like an advisory board too.
Second,
Any more discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
aye.
Aye,
Aye.
thank you. Next up, the Brookfield Emergency Dispensing Site Plan, updated contact information.
Yeah, there's a plan that the state puts together. Jamie Terry, I think, is usually works on this, and we usually update it if necessary in May. It didn't require an update this year, but the contact list will need to be updated, so somebody's gonna have to go through. It's probably a good job for Deb to do.
Make a note on that. All right. Anything else in regards to that?
If she updates it, she'll just have to send it to you to have the board review. and
Yeah,
approve it.
review it and approve it. Next up, transfer station, fiscal year 2027 stickers, bags, and review of recycling fees.
Time to order the bags if they haven't been ordered. Eyeliners was the vendor that we've been using. I mean, I'm sorry, the stickers and the bags. I don't know about We talked about ordering the bags like a month or two ago. Did they get ordered?
I believe they were ordered.
Okay.
Yes.
The bags.
Yes.
So stickers.
The stickers is something that, Jim will pick out a color, so it's different from this year's. And then he may be able to place the order for you, or tell you like the information and then you just place it, but they need to get done soon because
It's August. or-
August is
Yeah.
when they're due, so they should be getting ordered. And then, yeah,
Next up is the new shed grants.
did you talk about review of cycle? Did
Sorry.
you have something that you wanted to talk?
No,
about?
that wasn't, I think that was a topic you had put up.
I just didn't know. Usually you might want to sit down, Jim, but, or Deb, to look at the invoices and see, I mean, it's the end of the fiscal year.
I'm hearing a lot of you. Aren't we a three-person board?
Well, I don't know, I thought the communication was going through you.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It can be, or we can assign somebody to be the person. But that isn't the policy that we voted yet. We're holding off on that, remember?
Well.
So as a three-member board, I think we should all have responsibilities, correct? I'll gladly go down there with you if you want to, or communicate with them. I'd love to learn the process.
So we have a recycling fee price list that's on our website. I don't think there's anything pending right now for it, but I'm kind of putting this stuff out so that you know what the kind of things that they have to get done that are generally fall to the chair to do. But it's gonna be different. That's great.
Well, I think it should be, right? I mean, I think you took
You're
on.
Preaching to the choir.
No, I understand that. I know that you spent a lot of time doing things and I'm appreciative of that. I think that as a three-member board, we should find ways where we can help each other and have the board be productive.
So, it's just, sitting down with Jim, kind of seeing how things are going and checking in and,
As far as the recycling fees go, or,
yeah, like if he's noticing that, like I think he's made requests in the past to raise certain things because of either the recycling companies charging us more for a product or something, but or just change something. So I just Right.
done annually, or can you do it
kind of like,
at a meeting?
you can
We
do it
at
any meeting.
So-
I'm just trying to get things out so that you know
Yeah.
things that come up and about when we talk about it,
I
but
mean,
they
you
should
could
at
probably do it
least
right
talk.
before
should-
the stickers are going out, sir.
Right, so if the stickers had to
So
be
people can make the
raised.
decision if they want to buy this.
So my point was about the budget and why I was asking for that sheet before now was so that I was trying to get it on the agenda. It's the end of the fiscal year, so we
Yeah.
should have been doing a review of the budget and see where we ended up. Making sure all invoices have been paid and that we don't have to do any kind of encumbrances, and seeing where the transfer station funds, landed. You can do that next month, I think.
Yeah, I think you have
kinda
some
just-
time after.
I mean, we have our budget and we're locked into that budget. So if we can't afford some of the costs of the recycling center, I mean, we try to budget for it, but if we can't afford it, we have to raise prices. So we just raised the price not too long ago on the sticker. I don't expect that it needs to be changed. I don't think
But it's-
things went up.
To
And-
have in the forefront.
Yeah, Casella's like in their last year, their contract before you'll be doing, you and like, you're the chair right now.
No, I got what you're saying. Yeah.
The contracting's gonna be coming up, and so that's gonna be a conversation too, and that should happen well in advance of when it's due, because it's more lengthy, discussions. So maybe put that on the agenda for a month or two from now to start talking about the contracts that are gonna be done for fiscal year 28.
Thank you for that. All right, so then moving on, so nothing else fee wise, discussion wise?
No,
Moving on to the new shed grants.
yeah, so I got an extension from the state on that for a few months so that,
Did you just get that?
yeah,
Okay, so I was in talk with Irene as well, trying to figure it out, because I knew we were down to the,
yeah, I talked,
and I couldn't.
I talked to the lady at DEP, so they,
Yeah,
they give out grant, it's just very common, most towns are like dealing with their budget and everybody's changing memberships and everything, so they always make things do, like when towns.
yeah, they just want to add it.
But I checked Clem's, I checked House just to see if they sold anything like that, just because we have accounts with them. And then I called around to some of the other boards to say like, what are you doing to deal with this? And some
Yeah.
people hire contractors, but it's very hard to do that because we can't pay them up front.
And from my understanding from talking to Irene, who was the head of this,
Mhm.
was we don't pay the labor,
Just
it's
coordinate,
just,
yeah.
the coordinator.
Yeah.
It's just the materials that is covered if we're doing that, so.
Yeah, I mean, so we have to pay the labor on that end. So it's easier to just
Buy a shed.
buy a shed from like,
Palmer Sheds has it, she did send.
if,
link
if,
to me.
if they're willing to do a municipal account, like where they bill, like the municipality,
Right,
you know, because nobody's gonna put,
Yeah, the money
shed
down.
on their credit card and then get reimbursed. So
right,
Lowe's sometimes does it, Home Depot sometimes does it. I mean, they don't have to be top of the line, right?
no, I think they were what, 5,000, 6,000?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and then, and I know Jim was like, I don't wanna paint.
I
Hey.
do want to talk about that, not that I'm against it, but I do want to talk about how we would manage
We
it.
have to think about the town's
Yeah.
ability to recycle, not just someone's preference that they don't have it on.
I 100% understand that. I did seek his input. just
And it's not
because
for regular paint, it's
we're-
for like toxic paints, like
Well,
oil-based paints.
It was different the way that it was explained to me when I
Yeah.
talked to the coordinator. It was. They envisioned it as a swap shed where you don't use all your paint, you put it in. the
Oh,
shed,
yeah, that would be great
And
too.
then if somebody else needs some paint, they come and grab it.
That would be fabulous.
It would be fabulous, but I don't foresee it happening that way.
Yeah.
My concern is if we put a paint shed in and none of the other towns around us do, we're gonna have a shed full of paint in
No, because they can't get a sticker.
They,
We have to put controls.
oh, no, I know they can't get a sticker, but not getting a sticker doesn't mean that paint from somewhere else isn't gonna end up
That's
in those
true.
sheds.
That's true. People can be like that. But
I'm just saying, there will be people, and I can see it.
we
filling up
should,
with-
I mean, we do like a hazardous waste day in the
Yeah,
fall
with
with
North
like
Brookfield.
North Brookfield, but I went last year and observed it and they had to turn a lot of people away because it's only a couple hours.
Mhm.
And the line of cars was going down the road and then they just cut it off.
And
then
they don't
people
take
sitting
the
there
paints.
No, they
They-
don't
they
take
turn 'em away.
latex and stuff like that. You have to
Yeah.
just dry it out and you can put it in your trash, but.
Driving around with hazardous waste.
But yeah, you're sitting in line for 30 minutes and then sorry, so I feel like we could do more of those or look to see if we could partner with I think Sturbridge does several of them a year. And maybe there's other agreements we could kind of try to get into and,
Yeah, and my concern is just how are we gonna manage it in what we're gonna do? So
yeah,
one of the things you're saying is we wouldn't take latex paints. It would still continue the way it is where everybody gets told to
try out their own latex or, I like the idea of the swap.
I me
of
too, but I
paint.
don't think it'll ever,
And I think that would drive the transfer station employees pretty crazy, because then they'd end up having to be the ones drying out stuff when people don't want it,
Yeah.
But if it was the toxic kind, I mean, I think it's more important, I think, that we have more options for people to get rid of that so that they're not hanging out in people's garages and,
I know I have a few in my
Basements or-
basement.
everybody does. But-
What did you get for an extension?
She said she'd check back in 3 months to see how we're doing,
We
so.
have 3 months to,
And-
again,
yeah,
we can
it's
explore
like-
the
I
options.
mean, I was asking for a month and then
Yeah.
came back with 3, so I was
Okay.
like,
So that gives
okay.
us time to explore the options, because I think the other thing that comes into play is what's it gonna cost us to get rid of this paint once we do have it, right?
Mhm.
I know, and Jim was just giving me an idea. He said it was, he remembered it was $9 a gallon to get rid of, and the place that he went to before no longer accepts it. He said he wasn't sure. He was.
Yeah, Clean Harbors,
Still
Safety
take-
Clean, those kinds of places. And so that was my thought, was like, even if we had a situation where we're collecting it, and if we teamed up with like one of the other towns that does more frequent hazardous waste days, then we have a situation where we just have to
Yeah.
bring it to there and get on the contract, and we just pay our little prorated portion for what we're
Yep.
doing. It needs research, but I mean, North Brookfield and a couple of the other towns, we all do one, it's just one a year. If we do several a year, we get more points for the grant too.
Right.
So, I mean, it would be nice to try to find
couple
more options and have more options for residents, so it's not just one day a year that they can get rid of that.
Yeah, I think this gives us a little bit more breathing room.
Hazards.
We were concerned that we only had.
I'd
Yeah,
at
6
least get,
days.
I'd,
Yeah.
yeah, oh, no, yeah, I mean.
But no, if we get an idea, I think the other shed will be easier to figure out,
This-
because that one's a swap shed.
yeah.
And just for anybody listening, the shed, these grants are very specific.
Mhm.
Like the paint shed has to be used for paint for 5 years before anything else,
And
and
then-
it needs to get labeled, but.
I think it was pushed back that, for us to do it, but it was required to be signed by the, like, select board. It wasn't, so I was under the impression that they were gonna, manage that, but. Cause I mean, where's the bill coming in, cause someone's, but it's fine. I mean, we can do it. But I don't think it needs to be like big fancy shed, like.
So do you
But-
want to each of us maybe do some research in this next month, and at the next meeting, we talk about what
I'd say
options we
maybe
found?
one of us research places that will do like a municipal, like,
Okay,
agreement to,
you
like,
want to do that?
I can do that.
I'll look for places to find out, like you said, like Clean
Where they
Harbor,
do, like,
where they'll take the paint to see
Yeah.
what it's gonna cost us that way.
yeah,
And then that way we'll have a price point, because we're gonna have to figure out if we do accept it. what
Yeah.
We're gonna charge.
talk to like the Charlton Coalition in different places, and then they may have more ideas.
Okay.
I still would do the North Brookfield thing every year, but the more that we can do to give people options to get rid of
And
this
they
stuff.
don't take the paint. That's the thing. I think still doing it's great, because
Oh, I have like 10 cans of paint that I'm drying out now, so it's like.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I did hear, we should put this on as another topic, because there are potential laws changing at the state level on, like,
She said
kind
there's
of like
been one
bottle
for
billing
20
kind. I mean, it's been like 20 years, but I mean, I think it's coming soon though.
That would be great if we could figure out some stuff there. In regards to the swap it shed,
Mhm.
they were looking at it. I mean, Jim was hoping that we could get someone in there to rebuild what's there, but I just don't know how feasible that's gonna be with the amount we have, but we have a little bit more time now.
I think we should try to repair that, because I thought the intent of the swap it shed was to expand the swap it. We have a lot of stuff that gets stuck outside.
Okay.
The wind kicks up, we get a snowstorm, we get a big storm, the stuff's all over the place, and then especially if it snows and there's a bunch of stuff sitting outside, it'd be nice to clean it up so that everything is kind of contained.
Mhm.
And so the idea was to have 2 locations, whether they separate like what type of stuff is in one and what's
Okay.
in the other, but just to kind of add to the
But that's
swap
still
it.
something we need
That's
to look
what,
at, is repairing that shed.
yeah, it's just a bunch of windows that are
Yeah.
put together with a
Yeah.
plastic roof. It's
So-
not like a shed.
Yeah, so we need to make a plan
A
of.
dump.
Yeah, well, I think there's a few things, right? I wasn't at the select board meeting about the ramp. I don't know what decision was made on that.
Yeah, we need to talk about that in another meeting.
Okay, so we can
I've been
maybe,
asking for that for 3 years.
maybe we can sit down and do a master plan meeting
Mhm.
for the transfer station, as far as all the things that need to get done there.
Mhm.
Maybe build out a plan, a list.
And my thought would be like, if they don't get to it, or there's like, get it so that we're ready, they always come up with like, we need the, if we're gonna put like a warrant article out, it kind of sneaks up on people, and then it's like you're trying to rush to do something, but maybe prepare for that ahead of time, that if be prepared to have a couple of warrant articles seeking some funds for some upgrades. There's a few things that are gonna need to be done, so,
Okay.
in addition to sheds,
And
like.
I'm not from- Yeah, I'm not
I
familiar.
mean, the main shed's gonna need to be repaired, so we have to,
Which one do you
the
consider?
one that, like,
That
the
they're
one
in?
with the power, yeah.
Yeah, the one that they're in. Yeah, the roofing I know needs to get done.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot that needs to get done there.
I know there's some volunteers of people that want to come do some work there. I don't know if that's something we'd entertain.
I I heard there was like issues with people volunteering in this town.
Well, I think there's a form now so that you can sign and you can be okay. So I don't know if it's
Okay.
something we want to entertain, but we
Go
can,
ahead.
we can add that to that master list.
Uh,
To go along with that,
Yes.
it's difficult to understand what is our purview and what is now the select board's purview when it comes to the transfer station, because we
Yeah.
have delegated them for certain things, and I'm very confused as to what our actual duties are and theirs.
I can send them an email to ask them to really highlight what the
Well,
responsibilities are.
When we get to the inspection conversation, I have a little insight on that
Okay.
topic that might help that conversation.
Okay.
So we can, yeah, we'll hold on for that. Do you want to just jump ahead to that? Is that still?
Yeah.
Let's just
Um,
jump into that.
The independent third-party inspection, DEP inspection. So every year they need to inspect and we hire. It's a certified list of inspectors. Mark Popham is the one that we use, and we should be talking to him soon about getting a contract to do the 2026 annual third-party inspection of the transfer station. Greg Root is the guy that we work with on the DEP's inspection, and I'm pretty sure he's itching to get in there.
Oh, yeah, I've
soon.
I've spoken to him a couple times.
And the next topic's gonna tie into this too, but, so the last 2 years we did our inspections, I have been like kind of battling back and forth with the select board on who signs off on the report. I think the last time, like I just had discovered in 2024 that there hadn't been a third-party inspection since 2018, and so that's why I got going on doing them. But then I discovered that it was like signed by the Board of Health chair, but it's supposed to be signed by the operator. And we're not
We're not
the
the operator,
operator.
so like-
It's the town of Brookfield. And you can see that in the DEP spreadsheet, like online. They put down who the operators, some towns it is a Board of Health, but some towns like ours, the DEP's permit for the transfer station, the operator is the town of Brookfield. We can't sign. I mean, they don't probably care. DEP doesn't care if they
Right.
get our sign, but I would warn you that when you signing that,
You're
you're taking
responsible for it.
accountability
Right.
for the accuracy in it too, you
Yeah.
know, and there have been companies, not necessarily towns, company, landfill, like where an employee is signing off and the inspector said something was compliant, and then the DEP comes in and finds out it's not compliant, and it's like monetary fines involved, and so, and they'll go after people. So that's been a kind of a contention to have us do it. So back to your question, my head is where, when I read the regs and everything, the day-to-day operations, the operations should be the town of Brookfield. The role of the Board of Health, we are agents to the DEP
So we're
and
supposed to just.
Mass
make sure they're
Public Health.
compliant.
we're the oversight.
Yeah.
They're not the fox overseeing the chicken hen. We're, like,
Yeah, I know, I
you
got
know
what
what I'm saying? Like, so it's always been this kind of weird thing. A lot of towns have it pretty meshed, and small towns especially, but conceptually, you have an operator and you have oversight
Yep.
of that, and we are supposed to be so we would manage making sure those inspections are done every year. We should manage to make sure that go in there and kind of check and make sure
that things are being done the way they're
it's
supposed to.
supposed to be
Yeah.
done. But the physical of doing, it's never made sense to me since I've been on the board, some of the tasks that we're doing versus the town. I get it, low resources, people have just made do, right? But
But you need a clear
but it's
understanding.
like you're saying that she's like, it's confusing, and
Yeah.
it is. So maybe those conversations and maybe a joint meeting with the select board at some point to kind of say, let's decide,
Yeah,
how we're
how's
gonna
this
do
gonna
this.
be?
It should be more of a, if the contract with DEP says they're the operator,
Yeah.
they should be signing off as the operator, and then we're doing the work of the oversight, because that's what our job really is,
Right. Nope, that makes.
we're kind of put in a position of having to run it and oversee ourselves.
Yeah,
Like,
no, that kind of makes sense.
that would not fly in any other
No.
regulatory
No, you have to have,
scenario.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I did speak with Greg because he left a couple voicemails. And I tried to do a little bit of research through email and what I could find in regard to the DEP inspection. He told me he was unable to do an inspection in the past because it was too overgrown.
Oh, yeah, that's another.
So I kind of explained to him. I haven't
That's
looked
the
at
next,
what
that's the next topic.
Oh, okay,
So
so I can just wait, yep,
that's why I gave you like this little list.
okay. So let's
Um,
move into that then. The
So,
DEP
so the
inspection.
inspection coming, I'll send you, or if you want me to just reach out to Mark Popham to start and get the contract
Yeah,
from him. and
if you
put it
want to
on-
do that, that'd be
I'll
great.
do that, that's fine. And then, so Atlas is the company we're contracted with to do our quarterly gas and well inspections of the old landfill where the solar array is sitting on top of. There's like a specialized cover under that and you can't drive anything on it. And, you know, it's just, there's a lot of things going on there, but the outside, a lot of the wellheads are on the outside of the perimeter of the fence
Map,
of
yeah.
the, where the solar array is. Something happened last year. Atlas thought it was like a kid that came through and broke some of the wellheads. And so I don't know what kid's walking through there because it's kind of in the middle of nothing and it's
Yeah.
very dense, but I think maybe when they were clearing, someone, the highway department, maybe hit it with
Yeah,
the
something.
whacker or
Yeah.
whatever they were using to kind of get the foliage down, because they're not always easy to see. But with that said, some of them are damaged, so they have to get repaired. We can't go in to clear the area between May 1st and July 31st because of an endangered species bird.
I saw that there was
that lives
something there.
So in our DEP permit, there's this restriction. So I said that to Greg. I said, you might want to push off your inspections to August because we can't even get someone in there. And this is going to be the tricky part. I hope they hire people at the highway department
I know.
because it's got to be somebody go in there. You can't bring a bunch of heavy machinery in there or anything. And it only has to be like a 3-foot swath
Enough to walk through.
for the safety of
Yeah.
the person, the technician that goes in there to do the testing. The testing's gonna come back off and they always have to do a retest. We've been dealing with that forever, but that's just how it works.
Okay.
Um,
So, do you want me to follow up with Greg to schedule something in August?
yeah, I mean, well, he can come in anytime he wants. He's the
I
DP.
know he can come in anytime.
But
he was
I
on
would
me
say to
trying-
him, like, do you want 1,000 ticks on you? And
Yeah.
do you want to have like
That was,
thorns in your face? I mean, it's up to him.
well, that was the discussion we were having, because he did explain that previously he was unable to
Yeah,
to access it because he's like, I
inaccessible.
needed a machete to cut through it. And I was like, well, just so you know, we currently don't have a highway person. I think we had one person.
We
at-
have the testers too, and so they have to stretch out. I think they have for that quarter, I think they can go up until like the very last day of August. So I basically tell Todd every year, like, just go to the, like, schedule it for the last day because it's gonna take like all month to arrange someone to clear it.
Is to, and Todd's through Atlas.
Atlas. And they send the well testing reports to the board and those need to just get filed and.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a lot to learn there too, so.
Now it was with the well gas testing, head damage repairs, maintenance.
And I don't know what those are, they're gonna be a few $1,000s each, I
Okay.
think. I don't know where the money's gonna come from, but
Well.
hopefully there's a little,
little.
hopefully there's enough in the budget
Yeah,
to deal with it. The waistband compliance statement, we have to do that too, and I had given.
yeah, I
I had brought this up to a prior meeting that we just have to create one for the town of Brookfield. Barry's was very similar to ours, so that's the example
I have no, like, they have a template like this.
Yeah, this is a DEP form.
Yeah, DEP form, so I mean, I have no problem doing the best I can. And then maybe, well, go ahead.
Well, this is very similar. Barry is similar to us.
Mhm.
And so this is a good place to start. And I guess this is what you gotta just do, because we have to attest to this. Is just make sure that what we say is what we're doing. It's really a documentation that we're doing what we say we're doing to comply with the waistband. Like, so it's having a good understanding of what the operations are at the transfer station. So it's almost like fill it out and then someone's gonna get down and kind of like walk it out with the transfer station and get input from Jim to make sure like, yep, that's true before you sign it.
Yeah, I mean, I have,
Sign it as a board. I think it
Yeah,
comes
no,
back, we
I
have to
got
vote
you.
and sign it, but like the chair generally signs the documents that the
That come
vote,
from the
the
board.
board votes on, but
I mean, I have no problem taking a stab at it and then I think I can share it with you because it's not deliberation. It's just factual information before we move forward, because you have much more experience and knowledge. So I don't know if once I go through it, if you want to look it over and then we put it before the board.
I think I would not be able to give you the feedback.
No, not give me the feedback, but if
But if
you,
if you
if I
draft
gave you
something,
what I
if you
do,
circulate it ahead of the
yeah,
meeting.
circulate it, then
which is
you
a good
can put
idea.
your feedback to it and then share it at the meeting.
Yes. Guess I can do that, yeah.
I'll take that task on. Uh, Next up, the environmental testing landfill gas and well contract for fiscal year 2027.
Um. We. We have one more year on that. I confirm that. That we
Okay.
have one more year on the contract. So this is just another one that you'll have to be mindful of to
For 2028.
2020,
Well-
it'll be 2027 for the next 3 fiscal years. You can do it 3, we got good pricing to do a 3-year contract. And I would suggest you try to do that because these are expensive.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have to get a bid, like, so just for planning purposes,
Yeah.
you wanna schedule meetings that talk about bids for testing.
Okay.
And this, like, it's going to be a lot of work to just come down to hiring Atlas again, because I swear they're always a better price and they're always like very few people that actually do this, so.
But you gotta go through the process.
But you have to do because of the
Yep.
costs involved.
No. Completely
Procurement,
understand.
the procurement law, so. That's just for
Something
planning.
to think of for the future.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Thank you. Next up, grievance that was received
Myself.
on Friday, June 12th. Oh, you gonna recuse yourself? Okay. Grievance received on Friday, June 12th, 2026. We received an email. Let me read the email.
Yeah.
To the Brookfield Board of Health, I'm submitting this grievance concerning the board's republication and continued use of meeting minutes that were previously found by the Massachusetts Attorney General's office to be inaccurate and insufficient under the open meeting law. This issue is not a simple disagreement over wording in meeting minutes. This matter has already been investigated by the Attorney General's Division of Open Government following a formal complaint that I filed with serving as a member of the Board of Health. As the Attorney General found in open meeting law 2024-45 attached, the minutes failed to accurately capture what occurred during the meeting. Specifically, the Attorney General found that the minutes inaccurately recorded the discussion regarding the emergency preparedness plan and entirely failed to record a lengthy discussion regarding emails exchanged between the former chair, Maureen Lepak, and myself concerning the emergency beaver permit and related issues. The Attorney General further found that the minutes failed to accurately reflect the substance of the discussion that occurred and ordered the board to amend the minutes to ensure compliance with the open meeting law. What makes this situation particularly frustrating is the amount of effort that was required to correct these minutes in the first place. Before filing my open meeting law complaint, I repeatedly attempted to resolve the issue directly with the board. I raised concerns that the minutes did not accurately reflect what had occurred during the meeting and requested that the board simply review the audio recording. I was told there was not enough time to do so. When I suggested reviewing only the brief portion of the recording that was actually in dispute, I was again told there was not enough time. I even offered to pay out of my own pocket to have the meeting professionally transcribed so that the board could compare the transcript to the approved minutes. Rather than review the evidence, concerns were raised about whether a transcript would be accurate. At every stage, I attempted to find a practical solution that would allow the matter to be resolved without involving outside agencies. Those efforts were unsuccessful. As a result, I filed what was my first open meeting law complaint with the Attorney General's office. The process took months. During that time, I was criticized for filing the complaint, and I told that I should have worked with the board rather than seeking review from the Attorney General. The reality is that seeking review from the Attorney General was not my first choice. It was my last resort after repeated attempts to resolve the matter directly with the board had failed. Importantly, the Attorney General's findings confirmed that I had argued what I had argued all along. The Attorney General noted that my concern was not with the titles of chair and vice chair per se, but rather that my concern related to my voice being heard and my vote counting, where it appeared that decisions had been made in advance. The meeting minutes were written in a manner that portrayed me as having been given an explanation for why the chair and vice chair titles appeared in the emergency preparedness plan, and then simply refusing to accept that explanation, causing the discussion to deteriorate. This is not what occurred. More importantly, the meeting did not go off track because of the discussion regarding the titles. The Attorney General found that the minutes entirely failed to capture the lengthy discussion that followed regarding the emergency beaver permit, related emails, and the disagreements surrounding those issues. By omitting that discussion and focusing instead on the earlier exchange regarding the titles, the minutes created the misleading impression that I had simply refused to accept an explanation and was responsible for the meeting's breakdown, when in reality, a substantial portion of the dispute centered on the emergency beaver permit and related matters that were not accurately reflected in the official record. That history is why the recent republication of the inaccurate minutes is so concerning. This is not a newly discovered issue or a clerical mistake. It is a matter that was disputed, challenged, investigated, and ultimately decided by the Attorney General after months of effort. The Attorney General's determination was not a suggestion. It was the result of a formal investigation, included an order that the board amend the minutes. It is therefore deeply troubling that after my departure from the board, the inaccurate minutes appear to have been republished or restored despite the Attorney General's findings in order. The effect is to place back into the public record minutes that the Commonwealth has already determined were inaccurate. Republishing minutes that were previously found to be inaccurate undermines the integrity of the public record and sends the message that the board does not take the Attorney General's findings seriously. Seeing the inaccurate version returned to the public record after the Attorney General ordered that it be corrected gives the appearance that the Attorney General's determination has been disregarded and that the corrective process has been undone. Accordingly, I request that the board immediately remove any inaccurate version of the minutes from publication. I further request that this grievance be included in the board's records and discussed at the next available meeting. I'd also like the board to publicly vote on whether it wishes to continue publishing minutes that were previously found by the Attorney General to be inaccurate. Respectfully submitted, Christopher Kelleher. Any discussion?
It doesn't say on here the date of the meeting for the meeting minutes that we need to review.
I think we have the person here. We maybe could ask them directly.
Okay.
Mr. Kelleher, could you tell us the dates in question?
I could look it up, but it was I gave the attachment of the Attorney General's determination, which would have it on there. But
We
you want
don't
me to look?
have the attachment.
Yeah, we
there.
don't have the attachment with us. It probably is in the email and it was overlooked.
Okay, sure, no worries. If you give me 2 seconds, I can look it up. Or if you want to take it up at another meeting, that's fine too. Because I know most guys make a decision on the fly. All right, it was for the Board of Health meeting May 24th. Yeah, the May 24, 2023. That would be, which they were approved on May 31st. So it is the meeting minutes for the May 24th, 2023 meeting. So if you go to My Town Government, what you'll see right now is you're going to see two versions up there, the inaccurate version and the amended version. And I can tell you, as a former member of the Board of Health, as soon as the Attorney General came out with this determination, I had access to My Town Government, so I immediately took down the inaccurate version, so that because they were deemed to be inaccurate. When I was off the board, that inaccurate version is up there. So right now, remember, the public has a 50-50 chance of reviewing the inaccurate version or the accurate version.
Thank you.
Is it clear which one's accurate and which one's not accurate? They're both posted on there still?
Yeah, they're both posted on there. If my memory serves me correctly, I believe the revised one either says revised or updated or some language to that effect.
Okay. And that's the one that is okay.
Correct.
Okay. But the other one is still posted and it needs to be removed.
I'm requesting it to be removed because they're inaccurate. We know that they're inaccurate.
Request is to remove it. Okay.
Right, and just to remind the board, there's nothing in the statute that states that a board has to publicize its meeting minutes. That is by choice. So there's nothing in the statute that says the board has to put those meeting minutes up on a third party website.
Oh,
Thank you very much.
thank you for that.
They do need to be filed, right? So the meeting minutes just still
Right.
need to be filed. So
With the
we'll-
clerk.
Right, so we'll need to address both the publication of them and then what's in the record with the clerk as well.
Okay.
If anything's happened there, like if both of them are there, we'll have to address both those.
Okay.
Um,
I need to review the attachment on
Okay.
here because I did not get to review that
do you,
and to look this up. And then,
I'll make a motion then.
I don't know if we need a.
Well, here out what my motion's gonna be.
Okay.
My motion's gonna be that we take those meeting minutes down for the moment while we review this. Both sets of meeting minutes.
For
For
May
that,
24th.
for the May
2023.
24th, yeah, we take both of those down. Review this, we'll come back, vote at the next meeting, and then decide which version is going to be republished, where the minutes go. Because if there's inconsistencies, I'd like to compare them both and then get any kind of inconsistent material down now.
The issue I have with that is to be able to access it to look at it. Cause if it's on there right now, I can pull them to look at them
I
and
think we can download it to have them
Okay,
prior to removing them from.
right, cause then who's removing it and when?
I have the access to My Town
Oh,
Government.
you do,
Yeah.
okay,
So I can post the agenda meetings, the agendas for meetings and then things like that. So I could make a copy for us
yeah, if you
and then take
download
it down
them,
for the moment.
if you download them, email them. Look at the different versions.
Yeah, compare the two. I just think it's prudent to take the information down so there's no
Inaccurate,
inaccuracy and then put the proper. And it could be either one. I mean, once we go through it, I mean, I don't know if there's a recording or other minutes from that meeting that we would be able to compare those minutes to.
so your motion
That would
is
be something I'll
to
have to check with our IT to see if that
remove-
meeting was recorded or not.
Okay,
My motion would be that we remove both sets of meeting minutes for the May 24th, 2023 Board of Health meeting until we address this situation at the next meeting and we take a vote. Because you want time to go through it. I want time to go through it as well. And then there was a request here at the end.
hold on.
Oh, my apologies.
So the motion is to remove both versions for May 24th, 2023 Board of Health meeting
from the website.
from website. My town government. Pending review until next meeting.
Correct.
Okay, I will second that.
Any discussion?
Yeah, if you want to just make sure that you download and send it to me.
Yes. Make sure that's taken care of.
We have this attachment, correct?
Yeah,
It's on there?
It's in the email as well.
Okay.
I'll send that out to you guys.
Okay, yeah, if you can put that all in the same thing and then.
Yep.
So we can review the documents. I'm assuming since Maureen's recused herself that it would just be sending it to me. I don't know if she would want to be on the communications for that.
I can ask her, but I think from recusing herself, it's probably a no, but I'll still give her the opportunity to see if maybe she has any information with it.
Okay,
And then the request was, I'd like the board to publicly vote on whether it wishes to continue publishing minutes that were previously found by the Attorney General to be inaccurate. I think that's right at the end of the line. I don't know.
it's vague.
Yeah, I don't know if a vote necessarily needs to take place, but I mean, I think in good faith, we're not trying to publish anything that's
Right,
inaccurate, so we'll address that, and if any future complaints come up, we'll address those as
Yeah.
they come up.
yeah, I agree with that.
Okay.
And.
And then I just want to, yeah, I'm gonna do a vote on it, yeah.
Thank you.
So, no more discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And then just for the sake, I'd like to put that grievance letter into the record of the Board of Health.
Okay.
All right. Somebody mind letting Maureen know that one. So.
We are
Almost.
almost
Waste
through the
hauler
first
regulation.
page.
Waste hauler regulations. Discussion, this is about complying with Massachusetts waistband law. I think you asked for that,
Yeah, we had that discussion last year. We don't have our private haulers. Our private haulers don't have a regulation. We are permitting private haulers. So we are not giving them a process to which be permitted and to know the standards, the violations, an appeal process, just for their permitting, but also we don't have, we're doing all this stuff with our transfer station to be in compliance with the waistband laws, and we don't do that for our private haulers in town. Seems like a disparity, so I think it should just be discussed further. There was a template from DEP that was provided, Irene.
Yep.
And so couldn't get to agreement at the time. And so I'm just trying to keep it on the burner so that it can be thought about.
Well, I think it's something that should be thought about. I think for me, my thing is always to go to the people that are involved. Sometimes they're not gonna give you the best information, but to find out like what's being done in other towns, that's very difficult for smaller companies to address, but then we have to put our eye on it from the public health perspective of
That's,
what's right and what's wrong.
that is the eye.
Yes.
Public health, like.
Well, that's what I said, that we have to do, but I think it's good to also listen to how things affect other people.
Well, I think too, look around the other towns,
Yeah.
right? These companies are operating in a lot of towns and state and they're doing it just fine in all the other towns. So that's the part that's kind of, we should be thinking about that too. you look at a lot of the trucks that are driving around, you see they have the new trucks, you know, they have the separation, you know, so it's just making sure that we're in compliant as a town with what the state law, because there may be stuff in that template that may not be like the state law. It might be the pie in the sky that the state
Right.
likes to have. So we can certainly
And that's kind of where
look at those.
that's the way I lean, is more,
Well, she's thinking of it because she's trying to get you the most points in your
no, I know, yeah.
grant,
Yep.
right? Because if we got one more point in our grant, all of our grant points would double in value.
Mhm.
And we'd be getting twice as much money every year.
Right, but sometimes money's not always the,
No, it's not the ton of money, but it's the private haulers, they're right now, they're being asked to pay for permits and there's no regulation to outline that process. So it's kind of a disservice to them as well. So
is this something that you want to take up to like work on?
I tried that and so I don't know what to take out. I know Kim, you had a lot of feedback, so maybe if you could mark up the document of what particularly was troubling for you, then maybe then we could take a stab at, editing it, but we never really got to the specifics of the language of what to revise and then the other option too is just to look at what other towns have for regulations and see if there's one that you thought said everything that you liked and not the stuff that you didn't like, and just say what town that is and we
Okay.
could look at that. I just don't want to reinvent the wheel.
Right. No, but the one from the DEP was like color coded, so there were certain
Mhm.
portions that they would require to get the points. And honestly, I found them very restrictive.
Well,
Um, so, and those were the ones to get the points. So
I see what you're saying.
I was very weary.
Yep.
But we can look at what other towns have and take a look.
Yeah, the point's less of an issue for me than just
Having a
having
regular,
a regulation that details what they need to do,
so when we permit them, we give them the regulation that they.
Well, the regulation is there, but we permit them and then if they're not adhering to the rules of the permit, they know what the rules are by the regulation, but then the permit, if they had a violation, well, we don't have anything in writing to say that they have an appeal. And then, so how do they know their rights to come in and appeal it, so if we don't put down what the fine's gonna be, like, then it's just, like,
So
we
it's
don't
more-
really have a process.
So it's more the violation, appeals process things that are troubling you.
Well, if you're gonna collect money as a permit,
Yeah.
you owe it to them to have
100% agree.
And
I'm
what's-
I'm just
what's-
trying to figure out
what the
what,
rules are
I'm
and
just trying to figure out
so they
where,
know what the playing field is and then they can say, okay,
and there's state law already in place for
I
these
mean,
things,
we
right?
have so many vendors that come through town that aren't even permitted, I believe. I've seen ads posted and I see trucks on the roads and stuff, and each truck has to be registered, in town. They're hauling trash.
Yep.
So you get the big ones, even the one that picks up the transfer station trash, Casella has to have a permit.
Yeah.
And then you have dumpster services and things like that, are hauling trash. It's hard to know how many people, because anybody, there's so many companies available and they're gonna wanna work in every town.
Yeah,
Some of them they don't know, they don't see a reg, so they just do it. We don't really have any teeth to say anything. So it's nice that some of the haulers have been paying their permit fee and getting a permit, but I mean, I feel like it's service not to have.
no, I think we should have like the violation process and how
start
they can
dumping.
appeal it and
Mhm.
things like that. I 100% agree with that. I lean just in everything to whatever the base laws are, not to put in extra regulations that we want to put in. So that's what I would
Actually,
want to
that's
go.
how I am too, but,
So I think if we look at that, oh, I'm not saying anybody else isn't that way. I'm just expressing for the board the way I am.
Mhm.
So for me, I think if we put if it's already things that they have to follow,
Mhm.
and we're just putting in the process for, this is how violations occur, this is what your appeal process is. I think we can move forward with something like that, but I mean, I'll take a look into
Yeah,
it.
and as long as anything that is required in the waistband law, like, then we have to include that. It's state law. We can't
Right.
forego state law.
Nope, and I agree with that, yeah.
So those have to be added.
Yep.
And a lot of towns updated their regs years ago, and Brookfield just never had any on, we just didn't have any.
And it's kind of like that for everything.
Then to your point on getting feedback from companies that
Yeah.
do deal with this, like, I mean, we could, which we typically do, have a
We have a
public hearing, which we did, and nobody came to the one with the other.
Mhm.
But you could always invite them to
Yeah,
come
I
to the
think that
public
was-
hearing, give feedback.
We don't have a lot of businesses in town that are based in Brookfield.
Yeah, it would be all outside of,
So you also don't want to run into being unfair and giving it to some people and not notifying others and creating a advantage to some of these people. That's why it's put in the paper.
Right,
Why everyone does it that way.
right.
unfortunately, that's so
People-
outdated and the law hasn't been updated enough yet to
Hey,
catch up.
I
to that.
know, but.
I think if we're doing our,
But you don't want to send it to 5 companies you know of, and then the 5 companies over here are going, why didn't we get it? But you have no way of knowing who's gonna want, they're everywhere. I mean,
Right.
it's not 4 businesses that you're talking about. It's like
no,
dozens.
no, I gotcha.
So, I mean, that's the,
I think if we're trying to make a best effort and try and get as much as we can.
yeah, just don't create an unfair playing.
Yeah,
field.
try not, in all attempt not to, but try and get as
Everyone
many
should have the
people as
same,
good.
yeah.
I agree with that. So I think I mean,
I would never think that businesses over residents get more say or, just because they
No,
have a
no.
business.
I don't think they should either. I just think that we should take it into account.
Mhm.
All right, so no real action on that then. All right, let's go into new business. Any new business? I think everything on there is follow-up. No, the new business on there, if we could skip ahead in the agenda, just down to South Pond. That's new, right?
What's the water safety additional? Why don't we just,
Okay, we can go in order, that's fine. It's both new business and follow-ups I was trying to do what was new business and what was follow-ups, that's why I was moving ahead. But, water safety. Addition of resources to the BOH page and a bulletin board at South Pond.
Oh.
I think the water safety was brought up at the last meeting.
Yep.
About talking to the, communications committee to put that resource up.
Oh,
on-
right, yes, sorry.
Yeah, that's why I was like, oh, shit.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I did reach out to the communications committee on adding that, and they did add it to the Board of Health page under resources, so it was going to link to it. They're working on like different ways of adding things. They weren't sure if they were gonna add it as a full, like, town of Brookfield resources, but it seems like they put it under like a section on the Board of Health.
well, that's good. I mean, it's up there for people to find.
Yeah.
Bulletin board, I dropped the ball on that. I did not follow up on putting a bulletin board. It was talking about being able to put like information up down at the beach somewhere. And I know it's gonna be a process because it's
you gotta talk to
the state.
the state owns
Yep.
the property. And QQLA is very involved and they did their signs already and there's a lot of signage down there that it looks kind of crazy.
Yeah.
There's
I'm
some
very
Such a
familiar.
small space,
Yeah,
there's a lot
I'm
of.
very
signage.
familiar with the beach. It used to be under our purview when I was on the rec committee for years.
Yeah,
So I know it's a process if we were gonna go through with that.
they've talked for years about doing things for that beach that I've never seen anything done, not recreation, but like the select board and stuff, so.
Yeah.
I don't know what the priority is gonna be there, cause I think ADA is a priority there and
Yes.
we'll see, but
Um,
I don't know who's gonna maintain it either, so.
the algal bloom protocol.
I don't have it.
Okay.
I wish that I did, because I know it's kind of time of the essence, because usually
It's starting to
the end
creep
of
up.
summer.
The numbers just started creeping up. I don't know if you guys both saw the
Oh,
most
I
recent
didn't.
one.
No.
Well, that's E. coli.
Yeah, oh, you're right. That's equal. You are right. It's a different thing. You're
So we
right.
have South Pond gets E. coli, that's
You are.
every year, and that's gonna be in this kind of weathery kind of, if we have a lot of rain or something like that, we haven't had a lot of rain, so it's probably not.
Well, it just jumped up because we had that rain yesterday. So it jumped up to 29.5,
Oh.
which isn't nothing. It's not really anything. It's 235 is the limit,
Yeah,
but it's inching up.
when it goes over, you're gonna go, oh my God.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's gonna be a while, but the algae as an issue is gonna hit the other pond more
Yes.
than South Pond. South Pond's like 80 feet deep. It's probably, there's probably sections over in the Sturbridge side, you know, but like South Pond is owned by,
Yeah,
like,
East Brookfield.
owned by the state, and then each town has like borders. The flushing helps too, when they lower the gate to kind of let some of the water come through into the other pond. The other pond is very shallow, so, it get a lot of sun, a lot of heat, it's gonna encourage algae. So that's when you run into that. Protocol is a great idea. I have a lot of information on that, because I
You take that up as like an action item for the next meeting.
yeah, so, did you start writing a protocol?
I have notes from the webinar of what they suggested, and I couldn't find my notes as I was trying to put this
'Cause
together.
I don't mind putting something together, because I did like a little talk at the QQLA annual meeting last year, so I still have all
Oh,
my
okay.
info from that. So
Yeah.
I can kind of maybe draft something and then send it for the next meeting.
Yeah, that would be great, because
you.
that way we know exactly, because it typically happens. So we know exactly what steps. to
Yeah.
take,
Yeah,
And
and
who to contact, and who does the posting, and when, and
yeah,
where.
because it's a triage of working with DEP and DPH. So I had to go through it mostly. I mean, it happened 2 years ago and it was pretty mild, but the one last year was pretty significant. And it involved a lot, and it was kind of a learning curve. So I did take,
Yeah,
Yeah, a lot.
what we're responsible for and what the state's responsible for and that.
well, yeah, fortunately,
And now we have the communications committee that's excellent about putting out communications, so they can help
yeah,
streamline getting notice to residents.
yeah. Yeah, the signage is gonna be the big one. That's the physical stuff that,
Mhm.
be nice to find some money to buy some signs. Yeah.
I do have this sign. I don't know where we would want to post it, but this is what came.
Mhm.
It was $27.61. I am happy to just donate it to the town.
It's a nice sign.
If,
I do know too, there's like a state website that has a lot of standard signs that you can order, and some of them aren't, I don't think they even charge for them, so,
No, I
but it's nice. And
find out where we can put it.
yeah, I don't know if that's something we should talk to, is it Jeff Clark?
He's the chair of the beach committee.
Yeah.
well,
'Cause he's the one that brought this to me as an issue, and that they wanted to put a notice out. And they
Yeah.
requested the board to also.
I would definitely talk to him then. 'Cause,
Okay.
yeah,
And then QQLA, you could maybe too, you let them know it's there with him, or he can coordinate that.
Okay. I think I did email him, and I never received an email back, so I don't know if I have the right email, but I'll try again.
I have his email. I will forward. it.
Okay, okay.
So you're gonna do Maureen, you're gonna do the draft for the protocol? And then
Yeah.
Hugh, you're gonna do that, fine. All right. Facts and concerns regarding the 7 Mile river dumping into Brookfield's ponds and rivers.
Um, I asked for this last month because it's been brought up a few times as concerns, and so I was wondering if there were any actionable things that we could do to help.
I guess I'd have to get up to speed on it before
Right.
I could say anything's actionable.
Spencer, you know where their wastewater treatment plant is, and you see all the construction there for like 2 years now.
Yep.
That's a multi-million-dollar project that's going on because they've had documented outdated technology, unequipped, nutrient removal limits, and just a lot of infrastructure degradation, which has caused the so you know how the wastewater treatment plant, they discharge into the stream and it's supposed to be treated water, right?
Yeah.
So then it goes in, but unfortunately with their problems and the new requirements that the state requires, they're just outdated and they don't meet the threshold, and then some high rainy times it's polluting. So they've been in this position for a long time. And so they've had like capacity restraints and inflow and infiltration problems and the really big cost, right? So
Mhm.
they're in this multi-million-dollar project right now that's supposed to complete this year. You know how that goes, but it's the DEP that oversees it. It is not really nothing we can do. I mean, it gets to us only because Cranberry River will get into the 7 Mile River, and then that comes down
Mhm.
through and into.
I've heard this for years.
Yeah, it's been a problem for years.
Yeah.
But it's
There's
getting the
no-
attention now.
yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
sometimes you can go shopping at Big Y and it just smells like a sewer, and then literally you can see it like running through the parking lot because it's so gross. The pipes and stuff. I've seen that before, like last year, and that was probably due to some of the construction there, but it's a
Mhm.
big construction site there. That's what they're doing. They're fixing the pipes and
They have DEP oversight for it.
the DEP.
Yeah.
We don't oversee like wagon wheels facility.
Mhm.
That system is so big that it's overseen by the DEP, so we don't have anything to do with it.
Okay.
It's really an out of town thing that's affecting in town.
Mhm.
Where we
It's something, yeah, I mean, we talked
can write a
about.
letter, but that's
We
about.
talk about all the causes of like
Yeah.
things. I mean, that's one of the things that's gonna cause like potential algae bloom, but it's not the only thing, but it's in the mix, and it's just to be
Contributes.
aware of. I mean, we've had people who've had bad septic systems and stuff, it's just hard to pinpoint sometimes. There's a lot of houses there and there's a lot of flooding there sometimes. So, I mean, it's
Not really an actionable item.
it's good to learn and understand what's going on, and be able to speak to it when, residents and stuff are,
Yeah, address
smell
it.
something, I mean, you can kind of talk to them, and if you have questions or you think there's something going on, call the Spencer Sewer, department and ask them if there's something going on, and just have that relationship.
Okay.
Next, beaver
Thank you.
permits protocol. That was on the last agenda.
I didn't do anything with it.
Okay.
Um,
You want to move that to the next one? Next meeting?
I don't have any information on it. I don't know where I would get it other than. I'll give it to you.
I think if you go online, like I think you can, the application's there.
Yes, but I don't know.
I don't know if it gives you an actual, like, step by step on.
It's in the regs, and I don't know if
Like
It-
even Mike was looking for the most updated
from what-
version of the.
From
of
what
the
I've read.
Permit last when I was the acting chair, so.
It's a difficult situation because they're putting us in the position to make the judgment if it's a nuisance or if it's a emergency hazard, because we're only technically, from my understanding, the way I read it, we're only supposed to allow the permits if it's an emergency that could harm people, right? Not just a nuisance. I don't know if that's, Maureen, what you get from reading
If
it.
it's a public health threat. Not, not just a nuisance, it's,
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Is that when it's just a nuisance, it's not something that we.
well, there's certain things, I mean, the bar is pretty low,
Okay.
right? I mean, they're not gonna. Sorry, I don't think I have, I thought I had printed maybe an email, but yeah, I mean. We have to declare the threat, and we have problem properties in town that deal with this all the time, and time is of the essence, and
Mhm.
And
uh,
that Lester doesn't
do
take.
not worry about issuing an emergency beaver permit when Mr. Howard Whitcomb calls you, like, please just
Yeah.
do it, because it could affect him, and then there's a couple of the flooding areas because we get the dam, I mean, if you know where Tantascwa is and the football field and the portion that's in our town, that is one of the problem areas, and we've had. I mean, they've done some work to try to alleviate some of the issues down at the end of towards West Brookfield, but sometimes we get it all the way on the other end of towards East Brookfield. There's a family
All over.
that gets flooded out a lot, and then the train then there's like issues around dealing with the CSX people and the flooding, because the railroad just goes right through
Yeah.
so much of it. You should definitely draft a protocol,
Are there other areas that you
but you can take it right off the reg.
are typical? You said the West
Um,
Brookfield side.
Schoolhouse Cross
No, I was thinking
Road,
of
maybe.
cemetery.
Yes, Schoolhouse Cross. Just look back on the
On-
permits that have been issued. The Highway Department, Devil's Elbow.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of areas in town that get these
Okay.
issues. The Highway Department's very, I wanna, I don't know how to address it, if it's the next board meeting or I talk to Lori, but for some reason, an invoice for a highway department got paid to our account. So, regarding beavers. And so I didn't understand that, so, we'll have to address that, because you can't just pay things to different accounts. There's rules, so I did make Lori aware of it, so hopefully they can kind of correct it, but.
Okay.
Any more with the beaver permits?
Well, to make a protocol,
So.
so
we can
more
find the regs.
information, so there's a reg.
And if you just take it from that, that would probably be the way
Okay,
to make the protocols follow what the reg says.
Yeah, and if you look at our application.
It kinda has most of it.
It's got like dealing with beaver, it kind of goes through a lot of it, but. You want the process, right?
Right.
Like, you want to be able to say, like, you're gonna copy Concom, because you should be, right?
Yeah.
The all boards clerk, and letting them know
Mhm.
that it was issued. A
Right.
lot of the times the permits are only gonna be for trapping, but we don't know that all the time. So if they're looking to breach or something like that, then they gotta go to Concom and get that. And the key is just to kind of get it all coordinated quickly.
okay,
That's like you're on call for that.
okay,
Just like, it's not something, you gotta get hours, make a difference. 'Cause
Mhm.
the flooding, it just starts to, like Howard's house, like, I think I've seen him running 4 some pumps at a time
wow,
to try to deal with his
Wow.
well as, he's got an old house
And-
and
and
it's
then-
down right, and he's lost a lot of land. Because when a beaver is like loses its mate, it'll like start just tunneling into the sides instead of doing like the nest, whatever they make. It
Mhm.
tunnels in and then it caves
He
in.
keeps it down, loses the land, becomes
He's-
more swamp.
He's actually lost, he's lost a lot of his.
Wow. Okay, yeah, so this,
That'll be an action item for you.
yeah,
Okay.
And I wish I could remember, but it's like section like, I'm trying to think of what the number for the CMR is. But it's like 2.08. It talks about like the reasons and, you know, it's under basically like the fur trapping law, right? So it kind of gives all the authority, you know, in the process. You'd find it kind of in the hunting, you know, trapping
Yeah,
kind of regulations. So it's not gonna jump out at you otherwise, but you'd find it there.
Okay.
And then they kind of talks about the law of like, if you want to get a permit to trap, you know, this is what you can do. And then it's certain types of traps are prohibited, but Board of Health can, you know, allow for certain things, you know, so it just kind of, you got to read through it,
Okay.
but it's all right there.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, South Pond Beach updates, that I put that in. Beach permit was given, approved, I should say. We did have a little incident last week. I don't know if you saw the email I had sent you to inquire. Somebody
I
had,
had no idea what it was about.
yeah, somebody thought they were funny and found a no swimming due to, per Board of Health, a metal sign and put it up right at the beach.
Well, there is a metal sign that's for off season. It's usually attached to the big tree.
This wasn't attached to a big tree, it was attached to 3 legs, it was a wooden thing. Somebody dropped it off there, and I got a call from Jeff Clark asking why the beach was closed. So I went back through all the numbers to
The
see,
highway maintains that sign.
and I asked them, it wasn't them.
You know, as our sign went missing like a year ago and highway ordered a new one. I wonder if that
was-
was the old one.
This is the old one, because it was all beat up and covered in dirt,
Weird.
yeah. So somebody thought they were funny,
That was yeah,
Yeah.
that's what they were doing.
and they put it up there, so that's why I had reached out
Yeah.
to find out if
Did we
anybody.
get it back?
I took it, and I
So
have
that
it,
sign goes up when we have to close the beach for
Yeah.
E. coli,
okay,
and then it also goes up after Labor Day.
right. So, yeah, so I have it at the moment, I don't know, I'll talk to, maybe
Goes
drop
to
it
the
off.
highway barn.
Yeah, drop it down to the highway
Mhm.
barn, but yeah. And the testing. The E. coli testing, I just noticed today, the most recent one came in, it's still, I mean. 235 is our limit. Per 100 milliliters, right now it's at 26.9. The highest it's been, is just slowly.
Nothing.
It's nothing that really can be concerned with at the time, but just wanted to mention that it's,
It's way under the.
yeah, it's way under the limit, so.
Now that they have the portal, it's easy if you're entering it weekly. It'll calculate the geometric mean for you,
Okay.
so you don't have to do that anymore by hand. But that's kind of like the second part of.
Not aware of that at all, so that's good to know, so.
Yeah.
I've been looking at them, just thought that we needed to do it, so we need to
So
upload the testing.
it's a lot of reading and it's gonna take, it's fine. I learn things new every week.
Yeah.
Still, right? So like, just
If you can send me
Look
the
up-
links.
look up, it's on mass.gov and you just do beaches, like
Okay.
freshwater beach. You know, 'cause then the DEP will have all the rules on that and it'll tell you, it's very clear because it's written for like the
Yeah.
consumer to kind of read too. So, I mean, but you can just read it and then know, you know, what meets that threshold. The lab's gonna tell you. If it goes over the limit, you're getting phone called. Like
Right.
you're getting a phone call way before the report is even out.
Yeah, they're gonna tell you immediately, so you can shut
so
it
that
down.
you can.
Yeah.
Can do that. And I would just take this like a sign. And so you can find that on the website too and download it. And there's like Spanish and different things. And you just fill it out. I would always laminate it and then post it, you know, at each entrance, you know, just so it can be read by people.
Saying that there's no swimming or that it's.
Yeah, it's basically that it's basically signs that it's harmful to swim and no swimming and
And we have no purview on like fishing or boating or any of that, correct? It's just
the algae is, we
the
do.
algae we can, but with
Yeah.
the E. coli, we don't, right? Am I correct in that understanding?
There's no swimming, yeah.
Hopefully people see that and don't, yeah.
I mean, there's people living on the lake that are gonna
Yep.
do their own thing. And to be real honest, I mean, you could go on the other side of that lake and it's not gonna be a problem.
Right.
It's gonna be just in the immediate area. So you're only worried about the beach, the,
Yep.
the area that is roped off for the swimming.
All right. Stipend update. Anybody on that?
I think it had come up a few months ago, but then a check arrived like the next day, so I didn't. I just
It
assumed
was-
it was kind of like a,
Oh, I didn't even
Yeah.
know, I didn't even know about
somebody
this.
had said they didn't get a stipend check in a while, and I was like, I don't know if I did either, but then it arrived, so. was
I
like,
think
not
that
an
it was
issue.
more to, Steve Novak was sending a few correspondence about his stipend, but I
Oh,
think he's
that's
all
what this is
set
in
now.
regards to?
Yeah,
Okay.
it was his stipend and then we were like, wait. I don't think we've seen any, but I think it's ironed itself out.
I don't know. I didn't even know we got them.
Well, it should be zero. Now, the budget should be zero because it's the end of the fiscal year, so if it's not, somebody didn't get a stipend. And then an encumbrance, get it done, so you don't have to do a warrant article to get a stipend.
Probably be me because I haven't filled out any paperwork because I didn't even know we got stipends. So
Mhm.
if it is, I'll just let the money stay with where it needs to be. I don't need.
You won't get it.
Yeah, I'm not worried about getting it, honestly,
It's fine. Yeah, it's just a,
Mhm.
but I do need to go fill out that. Okay,
Yeah, you do. Yep, go see Mike.
I will do that. All right, public comment, unless anybody else has any discussion, anything.
Nope.
Now open the floor for public comment on matters not reasonably anticipated by the chair within 48 hours of meeting posting. Comments are limited to 2 minutes per speaker. The board will not engage in substantive discussion on matters not listed on the agenda in accordance with the Massachusetts Open Meeting. Anybody want to speak? Just the whole crap first.
As far as these minutes that you took off the, internet, I don't,
Yeah.
you should have done that. You have no verification for starters. Back in 8/30/24, the minutes were amended, so the minutes described that conversation back then. I mean, you're taking a guy's word, you haven't checked anything from the AG, see if the AG
Actually, I do have the letter from the AG.
okay. Should get everything verified before you take something down. You can't screw around with minutes. Minutes are very serious, so you should take,
100% agree with you, sir.
well, you took them down.
But the minutes are still in record with the Board of Health. They just,
You shouldn't.
they don't have to be published. So it's taking it down just to correct it. Well, if you still wanted to access it, you could go to the town and get them.
All right, just let me hear me out, because I'm running my 2 minutes down.
No, I apologize. I'll give you the minutes back.
Thank you, Jake.
Yeah,
The minutes were not republished. They were back then. You should check to see what they were.
they were. I did see that. When I got the thing, I checked to see if there were 2 sets of minutes up, and there were.
Yeah. Other thing here, you guys trying to limit the computer to 1 member or 2 members of the clerk?
Nope.
All 3 of you guys were elected, so all you guys should be able to go to that computer at any given time to take care of town business for the residents. You know, calling you up to get permission to use a town computer. You guys are all elected officials for the town, and if one of you needs to go to that computer at any given time, should be able to do that.
And it may end up being that way.
Well, it doesn't sound like that tonight with me, you know? I mean, you guys are, we elected you guys to do that.
Mhm.
So I mean, there's something internally going on here. I don't know what it is, but that's something definitely internally is going on. Number 2, another thing, how come we don't have you don't have the clerk, health board clerk here?
It's a personal matter that I can't really get into.
Well, isn't that one of her duties? We're talking about duties. Is that one of her duties?
I'm not familiar with that. That's kind of what we're trying to figure out. That's why we're working through the job description.
Okay, and then I asked you last meeting about, have you checked who's got permits and who's following?
And I reached out to you and you never reached back out to me.
I did not, because I asked you in a public forum and I want a public answer.
Okay.
So who's got permits? Are you following them? Are you following people who do not have permits, who are doing things in the food industry that should not be doing it.
So if you would like to be on the agenda for the next meeting, I'll put you on the agenda for the next meeting. That way we can address it that way. I'm not supposed to get into substantive.
No, I'm.
But no, I'll gladly do
I'm
that.
not asking you to give me answers, I'm just.
I understand.
My
But-
comments.
And I'm just explaining to you as a resident, I just reached out to you I had the information to give you.
Mhm.
You didn't reach back, so I didn't know. You could have told me,
I got your message.
and I appreciate that.
I bring it
Yep, no,
to
and
the board
I will put you on the meeting for the next one, and I will give you the answers to the question you had at that time.
Because I wanna see, So so I'm kind of very concerned about, about this computer business,
Without getting into great detail, because I can't get in, I'm not supposed to get into substantive
Right, but I'm
discussion.
just saying that.
There were concerns raised, and I'm trying to do my best to protect the town and its information. I'm not making anything permanent at this time.
Okay, you can see who logs in and who logs out, and what they're doing on the computer,
I don't have that access to see that at the moment.
Jake can find that out in 2 seconds. If
And-
there's a serious problem with that health board computer, you can find out who's
And
doing
it was addressed, and this is how we were instructed to handle it.
Right. So, I mean, there's something going on a little more than you guys are kind of talking in code tonight, and I know what's going on, but I'm not gonna get into it either, but I think, 3 of you guys are all elected, 3 of you guys should have access to that computer.
All 3 of us don't. It's just as fair by doing it that way.
In the town before, why is there a problem now?
I explained that to you already.
It's not a good enough explanation.
I'm sorry that it's not good enough for you at this time. When I do have more information, I can share it. I gladly will.
So the way you left it now is the clerk is the only one on that is able to access anything?
To access the computer, yes. And if anybody has any requests or needs anything, they'll get it. They'll get it. They just can't log into it.
Yeah, it's just, okay. I think that's wrong, but that's okay. All right, I said my.
I mean, all right.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing. And if,
Something seriously wrong, when you guys are supposed to be working as a board, and if one of you needs to get on that computer, you should be able to go and look up something to get back to somebody else in the town. They shouldn't have to say, hey, I gotta use a computer, it's ridiculous.
and I understand that that's your opinion and respect that.
It's a situation that should not be addressed the way you're addressing it.
Well, sir, it's the way I'm addressing it.
Okay, all right, thank you for hearing me.
I absolutely. And I just want to confirm, you do want to be on the agenda for
Yes,
the next
please.
meeting, so that way you can get that.
Yes, thank
I'll
you.
make sure that happens.
Thank you, Jake.
You're very welcome. Anyone else? No?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
You have
I thought
someone-
Chris wanted to go first, that's why I was waiting.
He
Oh,
does.
I apologize. Chris
He's
was
there.
waiting. And then I will go to you. My apologies for that.
No
Yes,
worries.
sir.
All right, so, first, I want to thank the board for taking up my, the item that I asked, my grievance. I appreciate that. You guys were talking about your meeting minutes and how the public comments, and it reminded me that the planning board was facing this, very same issue. And the Attorney General came out with a determination at the end of December, middle of December, open meeting law 2025-209. And they explicitly stated that a public body is not required to capture every comment made to comply with the actual requirements of the open meeting law. I don't know how your meeting minutes were drafted tonight that was in question, but you guys can always reach out to the Attorney General and say, hey, is this a violation? That way that you're not trying to chase down old determinations or, try to interpret the law yourself. But as I read the most recent determination from the Attorney General to the planning board, that was the exact complaint that the public comments weren't adequately described. Attorney General looked at it and said, nope, it's not a violation of the law. So there's that. I was on the Board of Health, and as Maureen was saying, is that there was an issue with the computer. There was. We didn't have a clerk at the time, and the previous town administrator, Kelly Robbins, who was a municipal attorney, said, since you guys don't have a clerk, all 3 of you should need to have access to that computer. But as soon as we got a clerk, we shouldn't have access to the computer. And if you look at any other board, like you'd say the select board, you don't see Richard Chafee say, Karen, get out of the way. I want to see what's on the computer. That's Karen's computer. That's her computer. That's so she can do her job. I think you guys are going down the right track, and you can make any policy you want for your board. You have a clerk. If you didn't have a clerk, I think it would be a different issue. But again, I just want to repeat it because it's worth repeating. I'm very grateful that you took up my grievance tonight, and thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks.
Yes, your turn.
fire set of questions that you can or can't answer.
Okay.
The first thing I have to say was, have you guys been running a clerk without a job description this whole time?
I'm uncertain, still investigating that.
And then another comment I had is about the policy that you're thinking of making. I think it's always a good idea to just put it through council just for the heck of it, because there's always loopholes.
Yep.
And there's always different ways it can be interpreted, and having a professional look at it can set it in stone. Make it not a problem. And a second thing I had to say is about the computer, but I got an answer on that already. And then another question I had is, Maureen brought up an emergency situation. Well, I'm wondering if that's public record or not, if I could make a request on that or not. I'd like to know what it is. If it's not public record, that's also fine. I had a question of what covers region 2 and public health emergency planning. Curious where that covers.
All right, so to the public record, I'm not familiar with the legalities of if that is or that isn't, because she handed us the email during the meeting. I can find out and then I will get it to you if it is public record.
What I'll do is I'll send an email to do you have a Board of Health email?
Yes,
What I'll do is I'll send an email requesting it formally.
okay,
When you can get it to me,
I'll get it to you as soon as I can. I just want to make sure it's,
but that way you'll have my email on record.
Yeah. okay. And your last question?
My last question though was,
The region 2?
the region 2, what town does that cover?
I'm still learning the process, so I have to figure that out and let you know.
Okay.
That it? All right,
Uh,
I wanted to talk about the next meeting, but
all right.
really can't deliberate afterwards, so. The 29th doesn't work for you?
Absolutely not.
Could we meet on the 28th, the day before? Is there anything set in stone that we have to meet on Wednesdays?
We'd have to check and see who maybe already has a meeting.
Okay. I'll do that. I'll check with Mike. But then we really can't get a
I,
vote for the next meeting. I'll just make the meeting.
We'll
I
have
think
a-
that's in my purview to do that, so.
okay, I may or may
unfortunately,
not
because
be
we
able to, the 28th either.
can't- Okay,
I'd have to get childcare, so. The
30th.
22nd, oh, that's your family's.
Yep,
Yep. The 30th is fine.
okay. Let's tentatively
Mm-hmm.
set it at the 30th. I'll find out.
Okay,
Green,
okay, and then we had a request for a variance hearing to occur at that next meeting, so it just, we need to make sure that everything gets coordinated in time
posted.
for them
Yeah.
to be able to post and put it in the paper or all the requirements of sending to abutters and whatnot.
All right,
So I guess the sooner we could find out on the next meeting date, the better.
I'll take that up tomorrow and figure that out.
Okay.
As we go. So. Make a motion that we adjourn. 8:33,
Okay, second,
all in favor?
I,
Thank you all for attending.
So when you having the next meeting, Jake, I didn't.
Right now, well, it's tentatively the 30th,
Okay.
but I will message you.
Okay.
I'll let, and it'll be up on my town government.
Yeah.
We're gonna do our best to make it.
Okay. Thank you for hearing us.
No.
Absolutely. And if you have other suggestions and ideas, I'm willing to listen.
Okay.
I'm not, it's not like, I'm going what I think is best practice.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
So,
I like that.